On this episode, we talk about using an ads manager versus boosting posts and learning JavaScript. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 70 of the AskEngine show. I have no idea why, but I am super energized today. I think it was the cold brew and literally eating one plate of food the past 4 days. How's your stomach after the level 4?
I'm good now. Yeah. Had some really spicy Thai food yesterday.
I like really spicy Thai food, and Blake's you're like a 3.
Yeah.
You're like a 3. And apparently, the guy was super confident when he placed our orders down in front of us. He was like, this is level 4 and this is level 3. And
he was wrong.
It was wrong.
Yeah. It was a little too spicy.
Perfect. Speaking of spice, we're coming at you with the spice. We got 2 questions for you today. Let's go ahead and jump into them.
First question from r/Facebook. What is the difference between Facebook ads and promoting posts?
Perfect. So this is a question of the difference between a Facebook ad, like using Ads Manager versus boosting posts. And post promotion is boosting posts. It's just different nomenclature. The difference is a couple things. So there's a really good, so like most marketers will think you're a nub if you just boost posts. Mm-hmm. I personally disagree. There's a time and a place to boost posts. Dennis Yu is a fantastic resource on here. He's talked about it to ad nauseum. So if you want to read more about the times and places to use boosted posts, I would recommend following Dennis Yu. Shout out to you. I love your work. Secondly, send me a Facebook shirt. When it comes to the difference between Ads Manager and Post Promotion is within Ads Manager, it allows you to retarget and build a full marketing funnel as opposed to a singular message that you're pushing out to a singular audience. And what I mean by that is that when you're looking for e-commerce in particular, most people that hit your site, a little bit over 90%, are not going to take your desired action of a purchase to sign up the first time they hit your site. And so you're going to have to use Ads Manager to create new audiences within the Audiences tab and be able to retarget people who are hitting different pages on your site. That's when you get into a full marketing funnel conversation. Boosting posts is going to be used a lot more for brand awareness, a lot more for content that you want people to listen, hear, read, things of that nature. You can create specific audiences to boost content too, which is great if you're trying to just, a lot of people call it a blanket theory or carpet bombing, whatever you want to call it. Chris Culver calls it carpet bombing. But if you want to do that, it's great for getting your message out. It's a very cheap way because it's impression-based to get your content heard, read, seen. But when you're actually looking to build a funnel that moves someone from not being aware of your product to purchasing your product, you're going to want to get more in depth using the Ads Manager platform.
Awesome.
Boom.
Question 2 comes from a second-year CS student who says they have a lot of time this summer and they want to dedicate it to learning full-stack JavaScript. What's the best course of action for this? So it's great that you're showing initiative outside of your regular classes and stuff, because I know with my CS degree, a lot of the time, what we learned in class was not applicable to real-world development. So this is how you get a job in software. So the best ways to do this, honestly, you need to look at something like Codecademy. Put yourself in a daily routine of going through the exercises on Codecademy. Learn React, learn kind of the basics of JavaScript, and then switch over to something like JavaScript the right way, which we can put a link to that somewhere up here. But this is a great way that introduces new developers to JavaScript and basically helps them kind of learn the best practices, learn what's used in the real world. And then finally, I would say switch over to something like JavaScript 30, which is a 30-day JavaScript coding challenge that basically says, okay, day 1, you're going to build this. Day 2, you're going to build this. And over the course of 30 days, you will have built stuff that people actually work on at real jobs. And you'll kind of have a good working experience and working knowledge of what JavaScript is like in the real world versus coming out of a textbook.
Awesome. And I think, so I know nothing about computer science, so take this with a massive grain of salt. A lot of people that I know that are learning about things like this, they'll go through these programs and then they'll go enter a hackathon, or they'll go do something that. That's fun, engaging, but makes you really work.
The important thing you need to do is be building real things. If you're working off of a textbook that's 8 years old and it's JavaScript, how it's done 101, you're not going to build any skills that are used in a day-to-day job. You're going to learn the basics, which is probably 10% of what goes on in your day-to-day. But it's not going to teach you how to think creatively when you're presented with different problems. It's not going to think you about how to integrate design and requirements and kind of business objectives with code.
Perfect. There you have it. Before we get into the question of the day, Joe, our videographer, is going to put the little link up there. I like to razz Joe a little bit. He's doing a good job. So, question of the day: coding.
Yeah.
What do you think about? And this is kind of like a super heady question. What do you think about coding? So, like Arkansas, where we're at, is actually surprisingly enough really in the forefront of, I don't want to say forcing kids to learn to code, but forcing kids to learn to code. What do y'all think about coding? Do you think it's something? And like, I know that we can probably agree on this, but like. Coding, when I was growing up, when I was a kid, story time, my parents were like, you're going to learn a second language. We want you to learn a second language. And my dad told me, you will learn how to read music, because that was like one of his things. You have to learn how to read music. I think I will be that way with my children when it comes to coding. You will have to know how to code in this language. So what are y'all's thoughts about coding? Do you think it's a necessary skill for our children to be learning? And what language do you think is most important? I think that'd be a fun conversation.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for watching. We will talk to you tomorrow.